Now, I got to admit, I'm like a little bit, I don't know, I'm a little bit black-pilled today just because when you really take in and just like sit back and absorb all of the various ways that humanity is being utterly screwed, that America is being scammed and destroyed from the inside out, it's really overwhelming. And once again, I feel like I'm looking at the Gordian knot, just being like, yeah, we got to just cut this with a sword. Yeah, we just need to slice right through this and just start over from scratch somehow, because it's too much. It really is overwhelming. The amount of money, the amount of destruction that we've wrought on ourselves, because there's like multiple layers to every single one of these things. I'll play a couple videos. All right, let's go to clip 58 here. This is one of the main reasons I think the SNAP program is being allowed to continue on. Whether that's because the government reopens or because they just do it anyway. They're going to pay for SNAP benefits, and thank goodness, because otherwise, what would Walmart do? Here's how Walmart benefits from the SNAP program: direct injections of cash from your pocketbook to their corporation. Let's watch clip 58 now.
So all of a sudden, Walmart's dropping prices after SNAP benefits get cut off? Not exactly, but let me break it down so you understand how it really works. And remember this, subsidies always lead to inflation. See, Walmart pulls in about $25 billion a year from SNAP. That's a guaranteed government paycheck. And when Biden exploded SNAP by 6%, Walmart turned around and raised prices 25% or more, blaming inflation. But it was really manipulation, because when the government hands out more money, of course demand's gonna go up. It's basic economics. So now SNAP's paused. You'd think prices would drop, right? Not so fast, because instead of cutting prices, Walmart is cutting inventory to keep the inflated prices stable, when we all know that the demand was never real in the first place. So tell me again, how does it make sense to fund a program where 70% of the money doesn't even go to Americans and at the same time drives up prices on everyone? That's the government transferring your taxes to big corporations who then charge you higher prices. And that's the way it works.
So that's what I mean. Like, how many ways are we being screwed right there? It's like, okay, money is being taken from productive people and given to unproductive people. Walmart is being injected with $25 billion of government money, right? You can just picture, like, the government is taking money out of your bank account and just giving it to Walmart so they can feed people who don't work, don't pull their own weight, and have intergenerational dependency on your money being given to that major corporation, which in turn, donates money to the Democrats, sponsors all sorts of horrible things, hires, immigrants, participates in the tent program, destroys your country in a variety of different ways. And it makes the prices higher. So your wallet's getting squeezed in that direction too. So in this one, active transfer of SNAP benefits from the taxpayer dollars you pay into Walmart's coffers, you get screwed over like 5 different ways. It's your money being taken, your prices go up, a corporation that hates you gets funded, and people that don't work and don't contribute anything benefit at your expense. And that's just one example. $25 billion a year directly into the coffers of the stockholders of Walmart as they buy chips and soda and whatever else. That's just one. Let's go to clip 44 here. Over 1 million stolen identities of Americans were used to make false Medicare claims, stealing another $14.6 billion from you every single year. Let's go to clip number 44.
We are announcing today charges against 324 defendants for their alleged participation in healthcare fraud schemes involving approximately $14.6 billion in false claims submitted to Medicare, Medicaid, and other healthcare programs, the largest coordinated healthcare fraud takedown in the history of the Department of Justice. To make matters worse, these perpetrators used the stolen identities of more than 1 million Americans spanning all 50 states to perpetrate this scheme and submit these false claims. But I'm pleased to report that federal agents intercepted and arrested key members of that organization at U.S. airports and the U.S.-Mexico border cutting off their intended escape route.
So there you go. Foreigners coming into America and just bilking the Medicare system for $14.6 billion. Just 320 of them. What's 14.6 billion divided by 320? And they're ready to escape back to their home countries when we caught them at the last moment. God only knows how many other situations like this are happening. I mean, I could show you story after story. I don't even cover them because it's like it'd take too much time, but it's routine. There's an Indian, like a grocery store that was just discovered. They were claiming that they were creating food for elementary schools and feeding 6,000 kids a day. Every single day, they were sending a bill for 6,000 meals. They never produced a single meal. This went on for like years. I've explained it a lot over and over again, but I still think people have trouble comprehending this. Other cultures aren't like our culture, okay? When you hear something like that, when you hear that they're, setting up fake, clinics and, paying or, sending bills to Medicare and getting paid out from the government, you're probably rightly appalled by that. You recognize that it's not good. If everybody acted that way, we couldn't have a civilization. You can't behave that way. They just think they're being clever. They're just like, well, you're stupid. You set up a system where we can just send you a bill and you pay it. Of course we're going to send you a bill until you stop paying it. And then we're going to run away. Like, you're an idiot for doing that. Again, people have this idea that like Western culture, Western ideals, Western virtues are universal. They are not. They're not. They're better than all of the other virtues. They're better than what other cultures value, but you can't make them value them. They just don't. And acting as if everybody has our same values when they don't is just a recipe for disaster. We can go on. So far we've seen, 25 billion from Walmart, 15 billion from fraud. Those are nothing. Those are really chump change compared to what our government, again, steals from you to give to people who are just actively disintegrating the fabric of your society. Let's go to clip number 35 now.
I'd like to ask Mr. Carroll and anybody else who would like to answer this. Can you name some of these NGOs that have specifically taken these hundreds of millions of dollars and not used it to protect these children?
Catholic Charities, Youth and Family Services, Jewish Family Services. I spoke to a gentleman that works in DHS. He actually sends the electronic fund transfers, and I asked him, sir, tell me, who do you send, who are you responsible for, and how much is the largest check you cut? He said, I'm over Jewish Family Services, and I cut a check for $600 million. And I said, is that for like 3 years? And he told me, JJ, get in the game. That's 2 or 3 months, and it's renewable.
Every 2 or 3 months, the United States government is sending Jewish Family Services, the immigration promoter facilitator, $600 million. They're getting checks for $600 million. Now, unlike things like SNAP, unlike even things like Medicare fraud, which ostensibly Medicare, if it's not fraudulent, it's probably a good thing. There's nothing remotely good about what the immigration system does. This is just paying $600 million every 2 to 3 months to bring people in to go on all of the other services we offer. For every dollar we spend on Jewish Family Services to bring in migrants, we probably have to pay an extra $3 to $5 once they're here on other benefits that they receive once they've gone through the process from these immigration groups. Okay, so your money's being robbed to pay for corporations like Walmart, so they don't have to pay living wages, so they don't have to actually serve their customers. They just directly transfer money from your pocket to their corporation, and then they give a bunch of dependents a bunch of sugary drinks to make them sick to prop up the healthcare system. I mean, it's very convenient sort of shaking hand there, hand washing hand. Or they're taking billions upon billions of dollars to pay for healthcare needs for people that either shouldn't be in this country or don't even exist, and it's just completely fraudulent. But all of that's being facilitated and exacerbated and made that much worse by the hundreds of millions of dollars we dole out monthly to the people whose entire career and operation and institution does nothing all day, every day, but put more burdens on our systems, undermine our laws, destroy our national cohesion, and piss everybody off. Great, wonderful. Thank you so much for all of that. So again, you look at all this stuff and you just go, I don't even think we can solve this piece by piece. It's so overwhelming. The scams are so monumental and ubiquitous. It's like, what are we even going to do to stop this? And it's coming all the more difficult because as these operations continue, as these programs expand and get put into place, the people that are here in America are less and less American every year and don't actually care about the values and virtues that we uphold. See, all of these things are all examples of what I always talk about, which are the vulnerabilities of a society that values liberty. We want to help people, so we have Medicare. We don't want people to go hungry, so we have SNAP. We want to be a safe harbor for people fleeing violence, so we have the asylum program. And at each instant, these ostensibly good, beneficial, charitable programs are seized by the left and taken advantage of as much as they possibly can, making the entire thing insolvent and really proving that you can't have an open society, you can't have an open civilization with liberty and freedom and free will with people like this taking advantage of you at every pass because they have no internal compunction to doing so. There's nothing inside them that tells them this is wrong because the way they grew up, this is what you're supposed to do. If America is getting taken advantage of, it's not because they're evil and taking advantage of it, it's because America's stupid and deserves it. Again, you can call me whatever names you want. This is reality, and if you don't recognize it, you're going to be a victim of it. Let's go to clip 26 here.